I'll start with beans.
We're totally alive.
Oh no!
I'm glad somebody told me that. That's
no, that's good.
Welcome to Trapped by Hope.
And well met. I am Mr. Eager DM at your service, and my friends and I welcome you to. What are we doing tonight? My friends and I welcome you to Trapped by Hope.
Oh, thank God.
Live stream Dungeons and Dragons broadcast presented by Lawful Stupid RPG. Tonight, for your viewing and listening amusement, we will go through the WotC module Descent into Avernus. But for those of you who have been with us for a while, you know that there's quite a lot happening in our game that you won't find in the module. So when you hear us talking about trains and hell, don't worry. This is a special, enhanced edition of Descent into Avernus. And for that, tonight, around the virtual table, we have Falkren the Cleric, Typhon the Wizard, Rim the Rogue, Zelmira the Monk, and back from being lost in time and space, we have Persephone the Bard. Welcome, players. Did I get them all right this time?
I'm here as well.
Did I leave you out?
I'm also here, guys.
Yeah.
And Rim is not a
I
rogue.
skipped an entire line. Okay. Yeah, Rim the Rogue. Rim the Ranger Paladin. Silas the Paladin Fighter. Jax the Rogue. I thought that went too fast. All right. Yep. Welcome, players. Very well. My friends, it is time. I extend my hand, inviting you to step with me into fantasy. Release your hold on that which you know to be true, and let imagination rule for the next few hours. Last time, Conscript Group 14 accepted a deal from the devil known as Bel, the former ruler of Avernus, for his aid in their upcoming battle against Archon the Cruel. But of course, Bel required something first. Further details were supplied to the group by none other than Yislin Mazonre, the drow warlock with whom the adventurers have had dealings with in the past. She laid out a plan for them to rob the Minauron Convoy, a powerful train-like infernal machine that transports critical supplies to the Blood War. Their goal was to recover 6 infernal fuel rods and escape without causing the train to stop. We join them now in the middle of that robbery. Most of the adventurers have made their way unseen onto the train, but the next few moments will be very interesting in determining their level of success. Friends, initiative is still active, and Silas, it is your turn.
Do we get a plan? Can we talk about a plan refresher since it's been a week about what our plan is?
I don't think so.
Really?
Sure, of course. Go ahead.
Okay.
First, in order to plan, you must give a recap, Peter.
Very briefly, the plan was to get on the thing which we are on, grab the rods, and then Jax was going to stuff all the rods in a bag of holding. Either Falkren or Typhon was going to banish Jax, and then I was going to teleport the rest of us away once Jax was banished and had the rods. I believe Jax has the rods, right?
Jax has 2 rods. They're sizable, and to take them out carefully, you can get 2 you can move 2 with an action. That means taking 2 out with an action and putting 2 away with an action.
Okay, gotcha. Could someone else take them out and then put them in the bag for him?
I thought Falcon did that. I thought Falcon did the other 2.
Falcon, currently Jax has 2 and Falkren has 2.
Oh.
That's what
I
thought.
think so. I think that's what happened.
I thought not to move our progress back further, but isn't Jax still invisible?
Yes.
Yeah, so Jax is still invisible, and my action was not to go for the rods, but to attack.
You attacked, so there's still 4 in the case. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't want to try to grab the rods and then try to put them in an invisible bag on an invisible goblin.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
So
D&D. So, yes, Jax, you have 2 of them. You have carefully removed them. They are very cold to the touch, but even as you hold them, you can feel them, the heat of your hand beginning to warm them.
And the summoned fly is being sent back to Zelmira to join us on the train.
Yes.
That was a
correctly.
possibility.
Right?
I don't know that she needs it, but
That's what I was. Okay, so my question is, because Eastland's driving, do I need to be there, or will it be more of a risk for me to come over at this point? But if I don't come over within a certain amount of time, do I then lose that window of opportunity if I need to come over later?
it depends. You have the ability to teleport there yourself, right?
Yeah, I've Misty
That will
Step.
break invisibility.
Yeah.
And that gets you there. That's your call. Your choice.
Well, my impulse is to kind of lay low unless the shit hits the fan,
All right.
and then come
The
over.
backup.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
That is perfectly fine. At any rate, the top of the round is Silas's turn. Does everybody have an idea of what's happening, what's going on? Remember, the train travels, the energy that the train creates, the magical energy that the train creates at the bottom, has 3 effects. 1, serves as a disintegration ray. If you land in it, you are rolling a dex save to see whether or not you are turned into ash. 2, it has a wild magic effect. We're rolling on 2 tables here, a wild magic table and also a fiery wild magic table. And any spell that is not a cantrip will cause this. I think I'll let you guys get 1 for free. That's fine. We'll move on, but keep in mind now that spells cast above a cantrip, you have to roll on the table. And the 3rd thing, no telepathy. Those are the 3 problems. So, Silas, what would you like to do with your turn?
Could I get a recap of all that stuff again?
Yep.
No. I enter the car fully.
Alrighty. You probably noticed that I've changed things a little bit. There was some confusion as to where people were standing, so I made little platforms in between the cars. I hope it helps.
Very good. I step off the platform into the room. I believe the door is open. Is this correct?
It is.
Okay. And I am currently flying,
You don't have to be flying, but
but I have that on me, and I'm also currently invisible.
Correct.
I'm going to cast a spell. This is not an attack, but it is a spell effect. I'm going to be casting it on the center of the room with a 20-foot diameter. The spell which I'm casting is going to be using the Wand of Silence.
Okay, I have a wall of force up that you would have seen me cast because you were standing next to me.
Yeah.
Spells cannot penetrate it, but should it drop and you can only put it on the edge.
I'm not trying to penetrate it. I'm trying to
I think
do
if he
something
casts
which I can
if he
see.
casts silence, it should work, correct?
I'm pointing it. I'm centering it on a point. I'm not actually casting it through.
Okay.
Wait.
Let us look up. I was under the impression that Wall of Force prevented things from moving through, but not magic.
It is both.
Both.
Impediment.
I believe. Maybe not.
Let's find out.
Maybe not.
Nothing can physically pass through the wall. It is immune to all damage and can't be dispelled by dispel magic. That is all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that magic, like silence, for example, this spell will work. So
nice.
definitely,
My
you
fault.
can step forward, you pull out the wand and point it and cast silence. However, it is casting a spell, which does mean invisibility drops.
I guess so. Never mind.
And also, you need to roll on the wild magic table. So please, D100.
While they are doing that, massive thank you to Pixie, who's just donated 500 bits.
Thank you, Pixie.
That's a
Very appreciated.
20 inspiration.
All right.
Pixie is our wild magic.
Somebody else
gets
donated
that?
too, didn't they? Did they get something else?
Oh, yes. Well, yours is literally just come through for 300 bits.
300 bits. All right, so we've got
It's literally
got
just come
18
through.
for Rim. So Rim, that's a D20 inspiration, unless you already have one. And that's going to be, and the next one up there is Zelmira. You have a D6 inspiration.
Hey, thank you.
Congratulations.
And DM,
yes.
I have rolled a
What do you roll?
D100. The result is a massive 6.
A 6, eh?
A 6.
Let's see here.
I really like 6. I like to get as many 6s as I
Right.
can.
You cast the spell, and all of a sudden, there's a very sharp popping sound that happens, and it comes in and it startles you because you were expecting silence. And you look down and you see a little mechanical-like creature that just has like giant eye and long spindly arms and legs, and it goes, "We Martian!" very loudly.
Can I punt it like an overripe melon?
You could use it on your turn. Is standing right next to you. So silence went down. What is the radius of silence? Remind me,
It's
please.
20 foot, so by casting it on the middle of the room, it extends out to the edge of the containers, the frozen
Alrighty.
mess. So
20 foot, so that's a 40 feet total. So you basically just cast it right on top of the thing?
let me make sure that is a radius, not a diameter. Because I'm using a wand, which was gifted to us in hopes that we could pull off this wild caper. It is a 20-foot radius, so indeed it extends out from the center to the edges of both ends,
Yeah.
as well as above and below.
All right, so a physical barrier does not stop it?
It's magic.
All right.
Wall of Force
That's
couldn't stop me.
That's the weird thing too, is that the argument about Wall of Force is that an invisible wall is technically total cover, and so you don't have a line through which to cast a spell to a point.
Oh.
I thought it was transparent as described.
It's transparent, but it's not.
It does count as physical, so it is behind total cover.
Yeah, it's a point.
But it wouldn't count for a spell on a creature that you can see. I'm going to say it's allowed.
I'm not casting it on the creature. I'm casting it on a point,
Got it. Yep.
which I can see.
It goes
It is
down.
not a target or a creature. It is a point.
We're moving on. Any other action or movement that you wish to do, Silas?
No one's been hurt yet, grievously, as I recall from the last session. I think.
Yes.
Jax
I
has
have.
taken a
Jax
shot.
is hurt.
I have.
Don't worry
He's about
about it.
half.
What? Wait, what? Oh, I'm grievously injured.
He'll be fine.
General Kenobi.
Oh, by the way, we've got a hype train going.
Nice.
Yay! Hype train.
You have a bonus action or a movement you wish to do, Silas?
I'll. A bonus action, you say? I don't want to die. Is using a wand of silence considered an attack?
Action.
It's an action, not an
Yes.
attack. All right. Then I'm going to, having done that, I see that there is a little creature there.
Mm-hmm.
What is that thing? This small creature.
It
which
is
I'm
appears to
seeing in
it's
my
a
sight.
small imp-like looking creature, but it appears to be made of solid ice. Has crystalline structure, crystalline features. Its wings are moving very, very quickly, almost like a hummingbird, and has a long proboscis like nose, which is really just a long icicle.
Okay. I'm going to move forward.
Okay.
And I see that there's a corpse. I'm going to go 5, 10 directly up in front of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't realize it, but there's an invisible dragonborn right next to me. I don't know that, though. And then I'm done.
Okay. Zelmira. Isla looks back at you and says, if you're going, this is the time.
You're here.
Wait a minute. He turns back to you and says, if you're going, now's the time. As the train continues to pull away.
So Zelmira, in this moment, not wanting to let her friends down, she's gonna go.
All right. Invisibility drops.
Yep.
Zelmira, you appear next to Typhon, who is hacking and coughing as smoke billows from his mouth.
Oh my
Points
god.
into the car, the cabin.
And so then, sorry, let me orient myself on the map. Okay, so on the map. So I am, sorry, my computer's taking a second to load. So I'm guessing I can then just go, I would take my movement unless I cannot do that anymore into the car.
So yeah, you've used an action. You can move into the car.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
As you step into the car, it goes extremely cold. If you stay here for very long, you'll probably begin to shiver uncontrollably. You can see quite a lot going on. There is a large insect-like devil that is banging against an invisible wall, but you cannot hear a thing. And you see a few buzzing creatures sort of detaching themselves from the ice around this room, moving into the room, and as they move around in various circles, looking at the only targets you can see are Silas and Falkrin. Looking at both of them as they move in and out of an area close to the center of the car, they go silent. When they come out, they are buzzing loudly.
So I had a held action from last time that was a water whip.
So when you got to your turn, your held action evaporates. So
I
then
see.
Then you use your action to
In place of
teleport.
that.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So
you've teleported in, you have moved, you still have a bonus action.
I have a bonus action, but since I haven't taken
You haven't taken an attack, you can't use an attack.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I can do. It does not look as though there is anything I can do. So I will just prepare myself mentally for my next turn.
Got it.
Okay.
Salamanders do their salamandering thing. Typhon, you are still choking, but you feel that the smoke is beginning to lessen. Maybe in the next 6 seconds you'll be able to do something. Do you have anything that you wish to do?
I'll move in. I will shut the door.
Okay. The door is shut.
Shut the door.
Don't
Keep out
shut the door.
devils. Keep the devils out the train. Let's do a little bit of cantripping in that case. I don't think there's anything better I can do than just causing some pain. So let's look at this. Yeah, the Mephit immediately in front of me here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's use a little bit of a chill touch attack. Try that.
Does that have a verbal component?
Oops. Yes. In that case, let's use Thorn Whip.
Does Thorn Whip have a verbal component?
Does not, because it's an item.
No, item doesn't use material components, but unless the item specifically says that it doesn't require any components, it still requires some.
Magic items say in the definition that they use the action to use them, but otherwise require no components to use.
No components. I thought it was I thought it was no
So I
components.
didn't break Typhon.
You did not break Typhon. No.
Okay.
Make your attack with Thorn Whip then.
All right. Oops, I have to. Let's roll this with a big old dice. How about that? 18 plus 9 is 22.
22 is a hit.
And ooh, 10. Just 10 points of damage, and I will leave it where it is. I will not take the action to
damage. Got it.
Pull it, or take the option to pull it.
All right. That will bring us to Rim Celebrial.
All right, I'm going to do some bonking.
Go for it.
Let's see. Bonk number 1.
That's a hit. 27 is, of course, a hit.
Sorry, there's a delay in seeing things. Two-handed damage. That would be 7 bonk damage.
7 bonking damage. Got it.
And bonk number 2. Everything is so slow.
25 is a hit.
2. All right. 10 bonk damage.
That destroys it as it dies. It explodes in a shower of shards of ice.
10
I will
bonk
need
damage.
Silas and Rim both to make dexterity saving
shower
throws.
of shards of ice.
Lovely. 13 for me.
13 is a save.
Ooh, well, that's nice.
$11, unfortunately, is not a save. And you take, Silas...
Does he get his own aura? He doesn't get his own aura, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, then it's
Oh,
a
yeah, your
14.
aura on top of that, of course. In that case, you did save.
I believe that's already factored in.
Is it in?
Is it?
D20, you rolled a...
Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not. So
Yeah.
it would be a 14. I thought it was.
14, yeah. You saved. You're good. You managed
Okay.
to
Yay. Thank you.
hold up your arm, and the shards of ice skitter and scatter against your armored arm. Your arm.
It is armored because it was scarred horribly and burned by someone. So, yes, it's
We're
armored.
not going to get into that. Rim, do you have anything else you wish to do?
I will step out of the way with my action, or with my movement rather, here, and I will say, Jax, we need to be able to see you to help you. And that will be the end of my turn.
Alrighty. Now it is the Mephit's turn. This Mephit to... I'm going to go ahead and put that on the bottom there. This Mephit turns and breathes a cone of cold on Falkren, which unfortunately also gets you, Jax. So this will be a Constitution saving throw, please.
Wait, the method on the other side of the wall of force?
No, this one right here is not on the other side of the wall of force. The one that is right next to...
Aren't they? I thought he blocked all 4 of those with the wall. Oh.
Nope, definitely not.
No, that's not right. All right, so
Sorry, what?
a con save?
Oh, yeah.
Con saves, yes. A con save from
Let's-
Jax and a con save from Falkren.
Let's see if I con. All right.
Jax, you have saved, as have you. So in that case, you take half of... Half of 15 cold damage, both of you. So it's going to be 7 points of cold damage.
7 points of cold damage. Zelda goes, ha, ha, ha. So,
The one right next to you, Falkren, here also. Let's see if... I believe this one already breathed, so let me... You know, though, no, they arrived at the top of this round, so they haven't breathed. The only one that had breathed was you.
these ones at closest to the thing are brand new to me.
Yes,
So
they. This one turns to you. It also, as it comes out, it has a crinkling, crystalline sound as it blasts over you. Another Constitution saving throw, please.
okay. All right.
Oh no!
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay. You okay?
You have
You okay?
not succeeded on this Constitution save.
Because that's
Oh no!
Silas is within 10 feet of me.
He is. You have succeeded thanks to Silas's aura once again. So that is the Mephit's done. The Ice Devil rages in silence, unable to do anything.
I aura be pretty thankful about that. So yeah.
Not your best work, Ryan. Keep trying. Jax, it is your turn.
So I've got 2 already, yeah?
You do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. What was the damage on that second one?
Oh, you saved. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't even roll.
0 damage.
4.
Amazing.
All right. See, look at that.
I will stick... Can I... Being a rogue, obviously I can move and blah, blah, blah. God knows how many. Take an extra action to do another move. Can I put the other 4 in?
So it's not a question of it's a question of the care that you have to remove them. It's an action to get. I'm gonna say it's gonna be an action to get 2.
Okay.
So that
But
is your
he could
action.
hold out his bag and be like, Falkren, here you go. Because Falkren has 2, right?
Nope.
Oh,
No.
I remember you saying that she didn't now. Boop, 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 boop.
Boop, bop.
Boop.
Boop, 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 boop.
I'm nearly dead, guys. So I am going to have to start kicking ass.
Wait, what?
Well, I'm less than half hit points, which is quite a lot off for me.
Yeah, but how did you?
I've been hit by Cold Blast twice. Opening up the thing, I took massive damage
All right.
because it's con damage.
Damn it.
Okay, I'm just going to stab the one behind me to my left.
Alrighty.
Yeah, because I can't heal you, Jax, unless I can see you. So
Yours.
As you stab, you no longer invisible.
19.
You have hit. 23. It goes down.
30 damage.
Dexterity saving throw, please.
Dexterity. 21.
You've succeeded, so you take no damage from the shards of ice that go flying. Thanks to your roguiness.
Yes. And then I'm going to stab this one with my bonus action
Okay.
for a 27 to hit.
That is
Brian,
also
mute.
a hit.
I'm going to add Fury of the Small for 18 damage.
that's the
18
sound of the
damage.
methods.
Got it. So those of you who have entered in, look down into the room, and you see appearing suddenly Jax, who is coated in ice and shivering. His eyes are wide. His the goggles he wears on his face are completely covered in frost. And he stabs one, spins and stabs the other. The other one is still up. That's going to bring us to Falkren.
Sorry, my daughter is singing to me in the song of her people. It is delightful. All right, so upon seeing my poor Jaxicle, I'm going to go ahead and reach out and hit him with...
Wait, don't hit me.
Just slap him. I'm going to say, Cure Wounds! Smack. No, so it'll be a 3rd level spell, but I know I need to roll on the crazy train, so...
You do. But just a moment, please.
Oh.
Cure Wounds has a verbal component, and you are in the silence bubble.
Any potions?
Grab the rods.
That'd be an action. Yeah, do the
I
rods.
can last another round. It's fine. You'll be fine. Grab the rods.
All right, so using my action, I can grab the rods,
Yes, you can grab 2 rods.
and then can I put them in his bag, or
No,
is
the care you must use, because if you drop them, it's very bad. The care you
Okay.
must use to put them in is also an action. So action to remove and an action to put away.
okay? So an action to grab the rods, an action to put away. Jax already has 2 of the rods. Okay,
Yes.
so I will use my action then to grab the rods and. Sorry, Silas is saying I die every other session, and he's worried about half HP. What is this? All right.
Jax,
He's a little more squishy than
I want to know how you were able to fight while you were holding 2 of these rods.
I thought you said I put
Dexterously.
them in my bag.
No,
Thought he did too.
Had them out.
There's an action to pick them up and another action to put them in my
Put
bag.
them away. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then I wouldn't have attacked
I
them.
didn't understand that.
I thought it was an action to put 2 in my bag.
No, action to put them away.
Well, the other one's still up then.
Yep, still up.
And
This
I've
one
got...
gets his 18 HP back. So
Yeah.
we'll say that 2 of them have been put away.
Yeah, and knowing that the ice creature... that's fine. And as a free action, I manifest the blades.
Okay, so your hands are free. Now you've got the
Yep.
blades in your hands. You're good. So,
All right.
Falkren, you're still in the zone of cold. Do you pick up the rods?
Yes.
Carefully picking up the rods. That is your action.
That is
Bonus
my action. I'm going to use my bonus action to have Steve attack the one to the
Got it. Have Steve roll.
offside. Yes, I've moved Steve in accordance with such an act. So, and then let me go ahead and swang that weapon. All right. So the attack for the spiritual weapon is
24 is a hit.
24 to hit, and the damage shall be a 10.
10
So,
points of damage. Got
10
it.
force damage. And Doop, that is... Jax, are you below half? No, never mind, I can't. I've got rods. All right, so go, carry on. That is my turn.
All right, the Bone Devil, still not aware. You guys have managed to be pretty quiet, and there's a lot of noise that as the train cascades across Avernus, it kicks up tremendous amounts of dust and dirt and makes a loud roaring sound in and of itself. The end of this turn, the Bloodstone falls another 50 feet behind. At the start of the turn, 2 more ice methods appear.
Was Eastland supposed to peel off too? Wasn't that part of the instructions once everyone was unloaded?
I'm willing to say that was it. Once everybody's up.
Not to
All
just.
right, so she starts to peel away. Then we'll say she gets to about there. 2 more ice methods appear. That can bring us to Silas.
Gosh. Well, there's one right in front of me, right?
There is.
So let's just go ahead and chop him up, shall we?
Go for it.
Going to bring to bear my faithful Iranian. Then I'm going to stab at him.
Go for it.
First attack.
18
to hit. That is 10 slashing
points of
magical
slashing.
damage.
Got it.
And second attack. Again with Iranian, that is a 20 to hit for 7 slashing magic
7
damage.
points of slashing. It is still up.
How's he looking? Really?
Very less put together than he was.
Then I'll stand there for cover. I'm a shield.
Standing
Yay.
for cover. Silas, done. Zelmira, welcome.
Thank you. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is expend a key point to cast Fangs of the Fire Snake.
Okay.
Which will enable me to, it adds 10 feet to any melee attacks.
Very cool.
So I will Fang of the Fire Snake and then just do an unarmed strike at the one right here, the one that Silas is not fighting.
Alrighty, gotcha. And we've already determined that this is not magic, so it does work, and you do not have to worry about rolling.
Oh, great! Awesome.
As you punch the air, and a blast of fire comes out and strikes the mephit.
That's cool.
If you roll.
So, okay. I was like, wait.
If you hit it.
Okay. Wait,
Go
why
on.
is that? And then what? Okay, so
16's a hit.
16, and then
This
I'm going
fire
to...
appears to be particularly effective. As there's a large cloud of steam that rises in the air.
And you know what else is fun?
What else is fun?
Because it's hit, I can expend another point, a key point, to roll an extra 1d10 of fire damage.
Do it.
Woo.
Let's
Nice.
see. And I rolled a
It
9.
had 17 hit points left.
Bam.
9 times 2. It explodes. Valkyr, make a dexterity saving throw.
Doesn't just melt because of the fire damage?
Nope.
Oh.
It's just like...
Superheated steam.
Yeah.
It burns.
Ow! Steam burns are real burns, guys. Be aware.
Dexterity saving
That
throw.
shit
Valkyr.
hurts.
Got it. Oh, you have failed. You take 10 points of piercing damage.
I'm
as
sorry.
So
Zelmira yells.
even with Silas's
Nothing comes out.
thing, that's not going to help you. So that's Zelmira's turn, and one more dead mephit.
Unless...
Salamanders.
Sean?
continue not being- Oh, were you not done?
And I guess, no. Well, can't I do 2 attacks? Or am I making that up? I can
think
only...
when you use your key point to do a monk attack, that becomes your attack. You
That
have to
immediately...
action.
I can't do, like, flurry
Can't do
blows
it.
after. Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check. Okay,
No problem.
thanks.
Ryan is
so-
skeptical.
Typhon.
Can I quickly just cut in? I forgot I was meant to do it at the beginning of the round. I do apologise. We did complete a level 5 hype train.
Holy crap!
Whoa!
So I just want to give the quick shout out. So massive thank you to Manx for 200 bits, Alias for 700, Pixie for 2,300 plus 7 gifted subs, Pingu for 100, Pike for 2 gifted subs, Mac the Iceman for 500, Aya Janassi obviously weren't part of the hype train, but it's just coming with another 500 as well. So a massive thank you, guys.
Jeez, thank you so much.
Can someone quickly do maths? That's usually me, isn't it? Hang on, 3,000.
Huzzah for all the bits, love.
Not
3,000.
do the
And
math.
everybody who's donating bits, don't forget, please enter the giveaway. That's exclamation symbol giveaway in our Twitch chat. And please also do exclamation symbol Discord and come join us over at the Lawful Stupid RPG Discord channel. We chat there, we hang out, we share art before it's released. All sorts of cool stuff happens there. How about that math, Jax?
Math's hard, but with all the gifted subs and stuff, I mean, you could easily say we've all got inspiration.
That will work for me.
And if you've got
don't have
inspiration already, just have a D6.
Right. If you've got inspiration, you've already got it, then give yourself a D6. Remember, the D6s expire at the end of the game, but the D20s continue.
Massive thank you to you guys.
When you said exclamation symbol, all I can think of is an exclamation mark next to somebody going.
It comes just after the rim shot.
Oh God! Just quickly as well, the hype train will reset in an hour. Every time we hit a certain level, we give away more. So after the break, currently we'll be giving away a $15 gift card and a $50 gift card. So that's all. Massive thank you to you guys.
All right, Typhon, as your yes, pardon me.
I think I can do 2 attacks. According
Says who?
Says the rules. Look in Zoom chat.
So casting a spell as using your key point to cast a monk spell, it counts as a single attack.
I whispered it. So it's when you use the attack action on your turn, you can spend a key point to increase your range.
Oh,
it's different,
not
worded
like
differently than the water whip.
Got
Water whip.
Then
monks, such a simple class.
It's like they're very straightforward.
Look,
all right.
We've said it before. 6 seconds is a long time.
We have said it before. So what I will do now, Zelmira having. Oh no, I'm all like choppy. Is that just on my end?
Looking good on our end.
You're fine.
Love it. Perfect. I'll ignore it. Okay, so Zelmira, having just eviscerated the what's it in front of us? Mephilimum?
Yep.
Yeah, a Mephilimum. She's going to turn to the other Methylin.
The Mephilim have come.
Methadone. They're methadone.
The one that she has seen accosting Silas, she will now apply the same technique towards. So I don't think I need to move for that if I do Fangs of Fire Snake again, which I plan to. So.
Nope. Yeah, you can just do it.
Yay! Sorry. Okay. So we do Fangs of the Fire Snake, and I roll.
So it's just make your attack.
My unarmed strike.
Bam is a hit, and
26?
that's gonna do it, folks. As 4 hit points left, and that is doubled because of both bludgeoning and fire damage. So kaboom, gone. So that's gonna bring us now finally to Typhon. Are we all done here, Liz?
Yeah, I
Great
wanted
turn.
to apologize
We don't go
for
another
hitting somebody, but that's
No, you're good. So I will say, Typhon, as you stand there and the smoke finally leaves, you're able to get a breath and able to cast. You hear from outside the closed door, "We marching!"
Oh,
as it sounds like something is climbing the ladder.
Okay, I will. Oh shit! All right, I'll open the door then. Where is it?
It is going to be right here. You see this little strange mechanical creature that it manifested when Silas cast the silent spell. It is with no other instructions, it is walking forward and it is climbing the ladder, heading up to the top of the roof.
Stop that.
So it's all right.
No, you just let that sweet little child of summer
That's annoying.
like go to his grave.
No, it is going to confuse things. So this sweet child of summer is going to take a thorn whip at a 24 to hit. And I'm going to yank it towards me and past me into the disintegration ray.
I'm not even gonna roll, as this little creature summoned by Silas flies past you, lands underneath the thing, and just turns
His
into
last words were,
ash.
I had a name.
Even if it rolled a success, half damage on this would have killed it several times over.
Jesus, Jade, I had a name. Wow.
All right.
I'm going to close the door again.
Okay.
And move back to here and just look around and see if anyone saw that. Guess not. Okay, we're
pretty
good.
busy. Anything else, Typhon?
I would love in my headcanon that everyone, even the Mephits, are just staring at Typhon like,
Oh, cold-hearted bastard.
It's a temporary manifestation of wild magic. Come on.
Right.
I think.
Rim.
All
we've
right,
all had those.
let's try to get these mephits out of the way.
Cast the first stone.
I'm going to shoot the one to the left of Jax. If the buttons will work, says I.
Nope.
It's been a lot of dramatic pauses. Oh, that's a critical fail.
You shoot
Please.
Jax.
Try that again.
Better.
Misses.
Wow. A 1 and a 2. Well, that's the end of my turn.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I do. It's better than the 2 ones I got
I'm
last.
so sorry. All right, that brings us to the Mephits. The two in the back here are sort of moving along this invisible wall, not able to do anything. So they just sort of hang out. The two here, let's see, the one to the left, we're gonna roll to see if he gets back his breath weapon. Does not. The one to the right also does not. So the one to the left slashes at you with its claws. I am hitting AC 19, Jax.
I'm invisible.
You're not invisible, sir.
Yes, I am.
So you have taken
I'm invisible.
five.
You
Five
attacked.
Actually, he didn't. He
No,
didn't
I didn't
attack.
You said I
didn't
couldn't.
attack, so you're still invisible. Oh, of course. So you weren't just being Jade. You were actually
I
invisible.
thought at first you were just being Jade. I was like, Jade, that's scam.
Apologize.
You can still attack me. Obviously, is it disadvantage?
No,
zone?
he has no idea you're there. If he'd gotten his breath weapon back, he would have breathed on Falcon, which would have hit you. But since it did not come back, it flies to here and slashes at Falcon instead, hitting AC 19.
Yeah.
That hit. Okay. 5 points of slashing damage and 4 points of cold damage. The other one also attacks.
I will take an attack of opportunity when he attacks Falcon.
Go for it. On the one that just attacked? Or the one that's attacking now?
One that's attacking now. 29 to hit.
All right, 29 is it. Now invisibility drops.
Yeah. 25.
All right, 25 attack points, 25 points of damage. Yeah, that destroys it. I need dexterity saving throws from both you and Falcon.
I believe I
Did I hear another deck save?
Yep. In a shower of icy shards. Jax, did you just fail a deck save?
Yeah. I activate the ring.
Okay. Is that a reaction?
I don't know actually. Let me confirm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
All right, so
I could
using
use
my Kraken.
reaction. Yeah, sorry.
So
Reaction.
you used your reaction already to make your attack of opportunity. So, what was your dexterity save?
11.
Falcon.
My deck save was a 15 using my Kraken dice.
15 is a success. Looks like, unfortunately, Jax, you are outside of the range of Silas's aura, so you take 10 points of piercing damage as the shards of ice stick.
Is that
deep into
halved
you.
already?
No, that is unhalved.
Okay. So I take half anyway.
And that is using an evasion. The evasion is just something that happens, right? It's not a. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay. You have saved, so you take 5, Ryan.
Now, that's a dex save, right? That was that
Yes.
one? Okay, so with my shield mastery, that would mean I get to reduce it to nothing.
To nothing, indeed.
Nice.
Hide behind your shield.
Confound you players, taking away his damage. Now he's really going to kill us.
5 points of damage. I didn't mean to do that. That is them, the Ice Devil, still trapped, still silenced, can't do a thing. Jax, it is your turn.
I look at it. I'll
He's a
attack it.
frustrate.
I shall attack it.
To the north or to the east?
Oh, did I not kill one? 25 damage.
But that was yes, that one. You killed the one on top of you.
Yes, that's
That
whichever one
definitely did
attacked.
die, yes, definitely did die.
18 to hit.
18 is a hit.
30 damage.
30 damage because Falcon is there. That destroys it. Dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh my god, I failed again. But I haven't used my reaction this time.
You haven't.
I used my
activate your
reaction
ring.
to take none. Yes.
Take note. Very good. Falcon, your dexterity saving throw.
Wait, wasn't that method on the other side of Jax?
Doesn't matter.
This is the one he's just killed.
Oh, all right. So this one's in front. Okay, lovely, great, nice, man. Dexterity saving throw.
12. You have failed. You take 11 points of piercing damage.
Am I not?
He's in the Silas.
I'm within 10 feet of.
You are within 10 feet of Silas. I stand corrected. You saved, so you take 5 points of piercing damage.
And having already taken my reaction this turn, I take those 5 points of damage. So.
Alrighty, that's gonna bring us.
I move there.
Unless you've got something else to do there, Jax.
That's dumb. I'll just move
All right.
5 foot.
Gotcha. Falcon, your turn.
Thank the gods. All right. So, DM, am I able to put the rods into Jax's bag of holding?
Yes, I will allow that. I will, in the 6 seconds, Jack stabbed and then turns and uses move action to effectively or interact with
Jax,
object to open the bag.
Don't move.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you. 7, 1, 3.
Have fun.
I love that I'm doing this while holding rods. Like,
all right, your action, Falcon, is obviously to put the rods.
yes. So then I'm gonna back up out of the cone of silence.
There's a popping sound in your ears as you move to an area that can be here again.
Gods, I hate that. All right, we have 4 rods. How many more do we need? 2 more?
2 more.
Great. All right. And then I wave to Jax to come to me. But
all right, he'll do that on his turn. Falcon's done. Bone Devil's still unaware. At the top of the round, at the end of the round, the Bloodstone is now pulling away, and you hope completely unnoticed and out of the area of combat. The beginning of the round, 2 more Mephits appear in unoccupied spaces. So 1 there and 1 there.
no, those are already dead, Sean, as clearly can be
As they
indicated.
clearly say, well, watch what I can do with the power of the DM. I can instantly bring them back to life in the same way I could instantly kill you, Falcon.
Yeah.
Whoa. This got weird.
So, 2 more.
My dog will avenge me.
And that's going to bring us to Silas, the top of the order.
Here at the top of the order, I'd like to understand. where do we stand as a group with rods and collection and evacuation?
2 sets of rods are in the bag of holding that Jax has. There's 1 set of rods that has yet to be taken out. So that's 1 action to take out, 1 action to put away.
Right.
I mean, seem to be never-ending method spawns happening here. So
does
good experience
seem to be
farming,
that
but
way.
dangerous long term.
Well, let's just start chopping them down.
Okay.
I'm going to attack the one that is directly below me, directly to
Gotcha.
the south of me with Iranian. That is an attack. Rolling.
22 is a hit,
22
11
to
points
hit
of
with 11 points of
slashing
damage.
Got it.
And I'm going to go ahead and just start divine smiting things.
Okay.
Is this a undead or a fiend?
It is not.
Well, I'm still going to hit it.
Okay.
Just going to use a first level, so that is an extra 5 points.
All right. It has taken the
And-
extra 5 points.
Then I'm going to go for the second shot.
With each of these blows.
18 to hit.
So Silas waves his weapon in the air, and as it moves, it glows with a holy light, slashing into the Mephit once, and then he brings it back around and destroys it. I will need Typhon and Silas both to make
rolled
dexterity saving throws.
A 2, 2, 3. I've got 15 this time because Silas is next to me.
Yes, 15's good. Typhon,
That
you
was
have
weird.
failed,
I rolled
sir.
like a let's see, 3 plus a 6 is 10. Wonder if that's gonna get me up to enough.
What is your total?
So I have +3, 6 plus 3, another 3.
Like a D6 inspiration to use?
I don't. I will. I'm just trying to decide whether or not to use arcane deflection to get me to a 13. No, I'll just. I think I still have absorb elements up. So all right. Nope. Oh, but it's piercing. I'm just not gonna.
All
use
right. Not going to use it. Got it. So you have failed. You take
500.
10. 13 points of piercing damage as the ice sickles drive into you.
Ick.
Constitution save. 15. You have succeeded. Wall of Force stays up. That brings us to Silas.
one
bonus
more
action.
thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. Divine Smite is a holy ability that uses a spell slot, but it is not actually casting a spell, correct?
Correct.
So let's just make sure that Jax gets out of there. I reach down and, for effect, touch Jax on the shoulder. I have to kind of lean down a little bit to get there to his shoulder. Then he's got Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Very nice. This is a leveled spell, correct?
First level.
Then you need to roll, sir. D100.
I like it. As I pat Jax on the shoulder, I say, "Don't attack anything, and they won't attack you. Let's get out of here."
Oh.
Sanctuary is up.
58 on the D100.
58, say you.
I do, saith so.
Right.
Saith, ain't so.
Okay.
Oh no.
Now, we're in this strange train, which is surrounded by a force of chaos, which every time something magical happens, even though it's divine energy, it's divine, it's not actually magic, it's divine energy flowing through me from my goddess, Vandria. What happens?
Nothing that you can detect.
Seems good.
Well, I'm done.
That's going to bring us to Zelmira.
Hi. Okay, so let's see. So there are still methods in this very room.
There is one method.
Yes. So it So Typhon is ahead of me now, correct?
He's in front of you, yes.
Yes. And so were I to move into this space, would I mean,
You
it just
could
looks
hit it.
different on the map.
You
So
could
I just
punch
want to
him.
make sure. Okay, cool.
No problem.
Yeah. But you know I'm not just gonna punch him. I'm gonna hit him with the fangs of the fire snake.
Okay.
So doodle loop boo. Fire snake. That's a 12.
Fortunately does not hit.
13?
Okay.
Does a 13 hit? It's flanking.
Oh, he is being... It has to be directly opposite. On a small, medium, lower, smaller creature.
Well, that's okay because I have 2 attacks.
So the 12 missed.
She could have struck him as she moved into Typhon's space and then
Disadvantage.
sidestepped. If we're playing flanking rules so very carefully, then she could have done that very easily.
So I'm going to use my D6 inspiration because I don't want to miss this time.
You could have used that in that last one.
Yeah, you can use it online.
I can use it retroactively.
Mhm.
Oh,
Not
great!
after
Then
technically not after
No.
I say that it missed. She can't.
okay,
use
Sean. I won't.
it. No problem.
It's gone to the universe.
Good. Make your second attack.
Okie dokie, artichoke. Let's see. So I will unarmed strike round 2. 22. I don't even
22
need
is
it.
a hit. Alrighty.
And then I would like to expend the extra key point
Got
to
it.
roll for
So
some
both the bludgeoning damage does
fire damage.
a tremendous amount of damage to this crystalline form. And then
The attacks do become fire damage, even the bludgeoning part.
I now 1d10.
so
And I
another
roll-
6.
Yeah, 3, but so 6.
It is not looking so great. Bonus action or movement, Delmira?
No.
Okay, that's going to bring us to Typhon.
I don't know how quickly we can get these things away. I need to be concentrating. Did it damage people when they picked up the rods,
No.
or was it just when the thing opened? Okay. In that case, I will 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. Take out the rods and just hold them up so
All right.
someone can
Take your
gesturing for
take
someone.
your
Please
action
put these
to
in the
take
bag.
the rods
Yep.
out. Very good. Bonus action or any more movement?
Actually, it hasn't been doing so great against these methods. Can I just use the rest of my movement to go to here and just hold them to rim? Like, take these.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That will bring us to Rim. Rim, you're muted.
Muted. Sorry. Yes. With my movement, I should be able to get them in the bag. Yes. I
Yes,
can-
you will move through Typhon space, through Falcon space. You'll get to Jax, and Jax will have the bag ready for you. So those go in. Go ahead and move yourself next to Jax.
I shall do so. Sorry. Delays.
Got what we need.
Yes.
All right,
and
so you
that's
have
my
recovered
turn.
all of the rods. It's now the Ice Mephit's turn. This is a new Mephit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turns and faces you, Falkren, and breathes its breath weapon on you. Which I guess would also. It's a 15. So I guess it blasts against you and then gets the wall behind you. It misses Rim. So I
Have
will
I got
need
my
a
reaction back?
Constitution saving throw. You use reaction to use your ring. So Constitution saving throw. Constitution saving throw. Falkren.
All right, con save. Got it. Yeah. Hey, we're con saving.
You have succeeded, so you
19.
take 8 points of cold damage from its breath.
Yeah,
that
I
is
see.
it done. Ice Devil still trapped. Jax.
This is Sean telling me to chill, Zelda. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
I move with all of them in my backpack. I just move around through people's space to there.
Okay.
And shall I attack? Because I'm about to be.
We don't need to kill it. All we need to do is get out.
The Jax doesn't like imps.
It's your call, buddy.
Yeah, it's
It is
fine.
pretty impy.
14. But if that misses, I can
14.
up it.
That does hit.
Looking for where the damage is. It's on roll 20. 27 damage.
All right. It is destroyed. I will need everybody to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, that was
As
funny.
it blows up in the midst of you all. Rim, let's see.
I've
Typhon, you have
failed.
saved. Jax, you have saved. Rim, even
12.
with Silas is 3, you have failed. Silas, you
Okay.
have saved. So,
I say Falcon rolled a Kraken crit, so that's a 20.
Nice.
so
Samir rolled a 22.
Rim, cool. Rim, take 9 points of piercing damage. Everybody else take 4.
That's halved for me for my resistance, yes.
From your piercing damage?
Oh, is it piercing, not cold?
Piercing damage. From the exploding shards of ice, it is piercing damage.
I see. Thank you.
No problem. That is Jax. You have made an attack. You have another attack, and
Oh,
I have a question.
I
DM.
shouldn't have attacked. Sorry,
Sanctuary
Silas.
drops.
DM, I have a question.
Sure thing.
I cast silence using a wand. I just took
Yes.
damage. Do I have to make a Constitution saving throw for the wand?
No silence does not require concentration, I believe.
Okay, making sure.
Let me double check that actually.
Well,
I know
He sure
darkness
does.
doesn't. It
so
does.
the spell silence does require concentration, but I don't know if the
Darkness
wand.
does too.
Darkness does too. Well, cast from a wand, it still counts as being cast. So you would be concentrating on that. So Constitution saving throw.
I want to be
Typhon,
fair
you
about
have
it.
Barely saved.
I'm certainly going to roll my d6 if I miss, but I,
I
want
have
to be
fail
fair
saves.
about it. 17.
You're
That's a
good.
pass. No worries.
Silence is still up. Anything else, Jax?
I look up. Sorry, Silas, I forgot. I'm ready to be.
Goblin out.
It's okay. I don't need those spell slots. When you need healing, remember that.
Of the hill people.
So it's at this point that Falcon turns to Jax and says, "Don't worry about it, Jax," and I banish him.
Roll a D100, please.
Oh, you might want to have done that outside.
Alrighty. Rolling my Halloween themed Kraken die here.
Okay.
So. Oh fuck me. Okay, so that's a 93.
Well,
Oh dear
Jesus.
lord.
Well.
It's not a 39.
Is it a 9393? If you know, you know.
High's good, right, Sean? High's good in your games.
Yeah.
In a random table, it's never good.
Yeah, yeah,
All
right.
So, Falcon, you cast it, and then you, as everything on you that is not magical bursts into flames and turns into ash.
Who does that happen to?
Is she naked?
Falcon.
Well, no, I do have.
the.
I mean, I am
all
naked, but I.
non-magic- Go ahead.
It's like I am naked, but I do have a giant shield, so it's a bit like a burlesque show right now.
Oh my gosh, no, it's like that Jackie Chan fight where he has like he's in the market and he's naked.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
non-magical possessions you are carrying turn to ash in a bright flash.
I'm still
I
wearing.
remember when Falkern shaved her head.
Just
I'm so glad Jax is banished for this. All right.
Dax, roll a D100 for me.
Oh, I'll do it with a Kraken. Where is it?
Son of a bitch.
With that great big one.
I can't roll that. My wife will kill me.
All right,
Oh,
so-
but you could.
I could.
All right, so
not a demon
all my
hunter.
non-magical items are just gone.
Gone. Yes.
0, 0. I rolled a 0, 0 and an 8.
Neat.
A 008.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's 8.
Oh, that means I get to choose.
What?
We don't like
The
that.
train just disappears, and you think, oh, good to be out of that cold. And you find yourself in the midst of a vast, frozen wasteland. The sky is dark and black, and you see a green ribbon of light moving across it slowly. And you begin to shiver as you're even colder than you were a few seconds ago.
I was hoping for a city. I was going to go get donuts.
That brings us to the Bone Devil. And that's going to bring us to... Okay, so at the end of this round, now Eastland is definitely gone, and brings us to the top of the round with Silas. 2 more methods appear.
What?
What indeed? That you see as Jax has disappeared, he is... the Ice Devil is absolutely enraged. Its wings are... It is almost to the point of tearing itself apart in apoplexy. Silas, 2 more methods appear. What would you like to
Well, I think I'm going to attack them, doing something.
do? Okay,
My goodness, they just keep appearing, don't they?
they do. It's almost like they were inside a container.
Almost. I'm just going to attack the one that is directly between myself and Falkren,
Good.
while looking very carefully at the method, not at Falkren. Respect.
Yes. Awfully
And
cold in here,
rolling
Falkren.
a 23 to strike with a
That is
7
a
points
hit.
of damage. And I'm just going to take another shot again. Let me try that again. I'm going to add a d6 to that because
Okay.
I suspect that may not hit. That's mine. That is a 16 to hit.
That is a hit.
14 points of slashing damage. If it's still alive, I'm going to take it down.
14, it had 14 hit points left.
And
As
it is down.
Explodes in a burst of shards. I will need everybody in the room to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Does the method have to as well?
It is,
Oh,
apparently.
actually, they don't.
Oh, really?
Dexterity saves with +3s all around. We've got a 15 from Rim, a 14 from Zel. Myra, a Falkren.
No.
Definitely felt the cold without the armor. Let me tell you, boy. Whew.
All right, so those of you who have rolled above a 13, and that's going to include you, Zelmira, with Silas's aura, you take
What
half
did
of...
Falkren roll?
Falkren has been laid bare and rolled a crit fail. So,
Falkren, you take 9 points of piercing damage. The rest of you take 4.
And
Falkren
I'm
needs to
just going to
make
go ahead and make a
save.
con save just
Thank
to
you.
make this more complicated. 13, no worries.
You have saved, as has Typhon. This one is gone.
Falcon needs to
Barely
make
even
a
got
con
a chance
save
to
as well.
breathe.
I don't think we need to kill anymore.
Who makes a con save? What?
Falcon.
Alcrin, if you have advantage, this is the time to use it.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
We
Gonna
should
say.
not attack these things. Oh.
Roll on the Kraken dice with
With the
advantage.
Typhon. What would you have me do? Pet the elemental
Just let
thing
them
that's trying to kill me?
All right, so
Nicely.
that was an 11.
That's cool. You're good. You're holding on to concentration.
Cool and a good one.
Barely. Although
wait.
with Silas, actually, that 11 becomes a 14. So
Yeah, barely, Sean.
Barely.
Everyone
All right.
wait.
Couldn't
I
resist.
know, no more killing.
Silas, you have another attack. No, you used both attacks
No,
on that. So
That is
you're
correct.
on,
I'm all done.
All done. Indeed. Zelmira.
Okay, so are people expressing the desire for us to no longer attack out loud?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, but can we hear? We can't hear anything.
We can. We're out of the silence.
Oh, great. So Zelmira.
Are you not?
Are we not, or are we?
No,
DM?
I'm the only one in the
only
cone
one.
of silence.
The large circle is the silence.
Really?
Okay.
That's 20 feet from the center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, Zelmira can hear the requests of her comrades, or no?
Oh.
The request
too
of
late.
Typhon.
I don't like that.
Too late. We'll say that instead of doing it in the center, you did it here. And I'm sure that in the course of the combat, the range of the silence would have been found, and people would have been considered to be out of it before casting spells. So.
Okay, so Zelmira will heed the wishes of her party and begin to move out of the room.
No, wait.
No? No, but what do you want me to do? I don't understand.
Just chill. Just chill.
Just climb in the chamber and chill, baby. What?
What would you
What
want to do,
what are we
Zelmira?
supposed to do here?
What do you
Don't
want to
attack
do?
things. Don't run away.
So,
What are we doing?
here is what Zelmira is going to do. Zelmira is going to hold an action and wait until, like, if something aggresses her, then she will fang the fire snake that MF
Like the people telling you to just stand there and not do anything? They're pretty aggressive.
All right, MFers, let's go. She fangs the fire snakes. No, just kidding.
Holding an action. Got it. Salamander, that brings us to Typhon.
I choose my allies in the room and take the little metal piece of the bloodstone and cast teleport.
Alrighty, so you're using the
helm
of telepathy. Alright, so roll D100.
Okay.
Concentration stays up on all four.
How does that song go about the levee breaking and somebody dying? How does that go?
68.
American Pie? Just kidding.
God, yeah, that's it.
Thinking bye Lawful stupid RPG.
As you are casting this spell, you look over at Falkrin, who's concentrating, very cold and still wearing armor, right? Or you no longer wearing armor?
Well, so I've got studded leather +1, but I think that was supposed to be. Yeah. So.
You think that was supposed to be?
Well, so what I think that was supposed to be a stand-in for something else, but I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
For mage
I think
armor?
you're right about that.
I think it was yes, maybe that was.
So, completely naked, and it is incredibly frightening to you. You are frightened of Falkrin for the next minute.
Okay. Well,
But
we'll be
the
doing that
spell,
elsewhere.
regardless, is cast, and all of you disappear and appear on the bloodstone, which has stopped, and you see Islin turn back and look at you all. Did you get them?
We got them.
Nearly. The goblin has them, but is currently banished. Let the train go by for a few more seconds, then we will bring him back to this realm.
Brilliant. And that is exactly what happens. The train disappears in the blink of an eye, moving incredibly fast. For all you know, the ice devil inside is still trapped in Typhon's wall of force. And none of the other occupants on the train the wiser to what has just happened. Train blasts away. You watch it depart in a cloud of dust. And about a minute later, you see a goblin appear 10 feet off the ground and fall into the dust.
I will go to the rods, remove them, and use my ice breath on them to stabilize them.
All right, as you pull them out, they are already begun to get a little less cold. You breathe on them, and that appears to have saved them for a bit. How much damage do you do with your cold?
Is it damage for that?
Yeah, I'll just determine the amount of cold that you did. It's going to be important here.
Not bad. A 10.
A 10. All right. They frost over, and you have managed to keep them cold. What would you all like to do next, friends?
I would like to keep a constant tabs on this and just instruct Eastland to just hightail it towards the forge.
All right. Eastland wheels the bloodstone around and begins to drive it back towards the volcano.
I'm going to go ahead and begin work on a prayer of healing.
Very good.
I thought you were going to say knitting new clothes for sure.
I will have covered you with my cloak by this point.
Yeah, thank you. She's like, I will begin a prayer of healing. If someone could find me clothes.
Falcon, are you going for a stage? A phase in your life? I know you shaved your hair off, but now you're naked.
Yes. Apparently, my suffering isn't just limited to the body, but also my dignity as well. So,
Silas, what do you do immediately upon arriving on the bloodstone?
What do I do immediately upon arriving back on the
The
bloodstone?
first thing you do.
I make sure that everyone else is safe. And after that, I will sit down.
Okay. After a few moments, you look down and you see the tips of your fingers are just barely glowing with a red light. But after a few moments, the light begins to fade, and a minute later, gone.
I remark upon this to everyone, that my fingers are glowing.
Ouch.
I knew someone would. Thank you, Sean.
But they do fade, and before very long, the effect has passed. Whatever it was.
Cool.
What does Falkren do?
Falkren is casting. Sorry, Falkren is mathing right now. Falkren is casting a prayer of healing, so everybody gets 20 bonus healies.
Very good. 20 healing points around as Eastland pilots the bloodstone ever closer to the enormous volcano that Bell makes.
I
his
am
home.
still concentrating, DM. I'm going to keep concentrating as long as I can.
On
Wand of Silence.
Oh, got it.
It's
Silence. Still concentrating on silence.
don't,
All right.
I don't want it to come back anytime soon.
The duration.
As long as the wall of force and the silence is up, that's going to be one very frustrated devil.
Indeed.
There's no point in dropping it because
So it takes longer than 10 minutes to get to the volcano that looms ever closer. There is a brimming redness at the very top of it, and you get the sense that it is not quite as aggressive as it was when you first arrived. And after 10 minutes, both you and Typhon feel your control over your spells drop at around the same time, and whatever fate befalls the Minauron Convoy is no longer yours to know, at least not at this moment.
Are we going to be able to make it all the way with the 10 points of cold?
Well, make a perception check.
Or can I investigate? Or
Investigate,
Arcana?
that'll work too.
Okay, yeah.
Can I help? Investigate. Or do you want me to do it?
Waiting for an affirmative on that.
Oh, sorry, yes,
Okay.
both of you
Okay.
can. If you wish.
I've got a 28.
28. So you estimate that you're going to need at least another 20 points of cold damage over the amount of time it's going to take you to get to the volcano.
How many times can you breathe, Rim?
once.
That's fine. And I kind of set the bag open, and I will use a cone of cold to really refrigerate them.
Really refrigerate it. Go ahead and roll your damage.
If this doesn't do it... Okay, it's actually not a great roll, so but it does it.
You have managed to create enough cold on this that they're going to stay unreactive until you reach your destination. And that is where we will leave Conscript Group 14, as we will return shortly for the second half of our game. Conscript Group 14, I beg your indulgence as we pay a visit to a member who has been absent for some time. Let me get her on the right board. Persephone, you hurt. Your limbs are numb, and your mouth is parched. One entire side of your face throbs with pain. It's resting on something hard and uncomfortably hot. You realize you're lying prone, and as you attempt to sit up, you hear a sound of clinking metal, and your arms feel sluggish. Looking at them, you see thick manacles around your wrists attached to long chains which coil around you. They don't seem to be attached to anything nearby, and you look at the room around you. It is a cavern. The floor is rocky and rough. There is a slight glow coming from the ceiling of the walls and the floor. Little striations of red moving in and amongst the stone, and it is from these that the heat emanates. Haltingly, your memory of what has happened comes back to you. Smiler the Defiler, the barge, captured. You've been imprisoned before for inciting unrest with some of your parts on the stage, but you would beg for a night at the Sea Tower if it could get you away from this place. What do you do?
Can I see at all? I mean, I know the red stripe, but is it dark?
So there's just enough light to sort of see that you're inside this cavern. You can see that it does seem to move like a tunnel ahead. There is no door. There is nothing here to stop you from leaving if you wish. At least that is how it seems.
And what were the chain sounds I heard?
They are chains. They are attached to the manacles at your wrists.
Oh, okay.
Thick,
so there's no
chain.
door preventing me from leaving, but there are chains preventing me. So I guess
the chains don't appear to be attached to anything. They're just around your wrists and pooled in piles next to you.
Like Marley, Ghost of Marley style.
Similarly, yes.
I want to look at the manacles to see if there's any hope of picking them or weak spot on them or anything.
They appear to have been forged onto your wrists. There is no opening mechanism.
Are my things all gone?
You are wearing rags.
Great. I say hello in a not loud but not terribly quiet voice, like sort of testing.
It comes out sort of but you do make a noise.
Does it echo? I'm trying to get a sense of the size of the space.
It doesn't really echo, but you can't tell if that has more to do with the size of the space, the weakness of your voice, or what the space is made of.
And the rock is hot, right?
It is hot, yes.
I guess I'm gonna move down the tunnel.
So
Yes.
you make a move, and it is all the effort you have to drag just one of your arms with you. The weight of these chains is almost more than you can move. But you're welcome to try. You can make a strength check, not athletics, strength. D20, adding your strength modifier.
All right, well, I'll try that.
.14, you're able to move about half a foot and then collapse. The weight of the chains doesn't seem like they need to be attached to anything. They're so heavy. That alone is enough to keep you in place.
And the tunnel, am I at the end of the tunnel or is it a tunnel on both sides?
Yeah, you appear to be at the back end of a tunnel that moves ahead.
I, with no hope of it succeeding, try and test if I still have any sort of psychic connection to Jax.
All right. You try, and there's nothing. And around this time, you become aware of a figure moving towards you down the hall. It gets closer. It appears to be humanoid in size and shape, but it's wrapped in rags. But then on top of the rags are chains wrapped around the face, wrapped around the neck, around the torso, and around the arms. And they hang a little bit at its waist, almost like a kilt made of chains. And there's a shing, shing, shing as it moves towards you. It stops about 10 minutes, about 10 feet away from you, and it says, "Awake, are we?"
Don't respond.
Come now. You've moved your chains. I have a special relationship with these things, as you might have guessed. Let's have a conversation face to face. Snaps his fingers and the chains scream up into the air, taking your arms with them, and you find yourself standing erect, your arms held above your head with the chains dangling in the air, attached to nothing. See Head's hand holding them above you. The master does not take kindly to those that take his belongings.
I don't care about his belongings at all.
What do you care about, human?
I just want to go home.
But home is where your heart is. And the chains wrap from his body come up and begin to twist around your torso, and you feel them dig into your rib cage and start to pull it apart. You are to be punished, but you might have use as a bargaining chip for some greater scheme. So expect to endure this punishment for as many days as the master deems you worthy of it.
I'm more used to the master at any kind of strength.
Adapt and overcome, then. The chains fall down. You're dragged back down to your knees. There will be no food. There will be no water. Endure or die. Takes a step away and begins to walk away from you. And eventually he is gone, leaving nothing but the tunnel in front of you.
She's distraught and feels completely powerless, sinks down and weeps.
You weep. You sweat. You're in pain. And eventually, darkness takes you. And as you stand in this darkness, you see a light. Far distant, but definitely present.
And in the darkness, I still feel weighed down by the chains.
They are there, but you feel a little freer here. Part of you realizes this is probably just in your mind, but other part realizes, what the hell?
I move toward it when I realize that I can in any capacity.
With each step you take, it becomes a bit more easy. And you don't know if you're walking towards your death, and that's why your physical bonds and burdens are becoming less, or if the light itself is giving you strength as you move closer to it. But eventually you do reach it. It is a lantern hanging on a post. You look at this lantern and this post and you realize you've been here before. This is the Oasis, a theater in Baldur's Gate. You look down, you're standing on the stage, and you look out and you see the boxes and the floor. And you hear a familiar voice. You know, I was in a theater a few times, but I don't think I've ever actually stood on a stage before.
Do I see him as well as hear that voice?
You hear the voice, and then you see, sort of manifesting in front of you, a middle-aged man, strong but thin features, a very well-maintained mustache, a hat that's at a jaunty angle with a long peacock feather that plumes out behind it and cascades down a bit, wearing fine clothes made of dark blue velvet with a silver shoulder pauldron, several daggers, somewhat puffy pantaloon pants, and large riding boots, and a cape over half of his shoulder. He bows to you. Hello, Persephone.
You're my sword.
Yes, I am your sword. This is a strange experience, but as I said, I'm pretty sure I have been inside a theater before, but I cannot remember how or where or why. But I do know that I've never stood where we're standing now. I take it this is familiar to you.
Yes, very, but I don't know if we're standing where we're standing now.
Odd to be here instead of out there. All those empty benches and boxes. You know, I wouldn't have thought it possible for a building to make a person feel more lonely than they do when they are in prison. But here we are. Or rather, here you are.
You're wrong that an empty theater is lonely.
I am wrong? How so?
All the stories that have filled this place up, all the people that have shared and what they might share, it's full to bursting. At least that's how I remember it.
So you do remember a time before your current troubles?
All I want to do is just get back to that. Forget everything that brought me here. Start over.
Will it be easy or hard to do such a thing?
Obviously hard. Everything here is hard, no matter what you do.
He looks over at the light that is hanging lone, the one source of illumination on this stage. He says, "Blink, what is that?"
The ghost lamp.
Oh, how poetic. What does that mean?
It's the light that never goes off in the theater. It's a safety thing, but it's also metaphoric.
A light that never goes off. I cannot help but notice a distinct change recently regarding your outlook, shall we say. Given that I was literally a gift to you from the gods, I think it is time we discuss just what your new goals are beyond immediate survival. We could almost call that an instinct. Is that all you are now? Creature instinct? Not that I have an opinion, mind you, I just find it helpful to have a better understanding of my purpose.
Her face darkens and she says, "What else can I choose to be down here? If you try hard to do the right thing, you do the wrong thing anyway. So survive, leave, that's it. That's the only option. Or die. I'm not quite there yet."
It sounds rather intense. It seems to me that this light that you speak of, this light that is always on, maybe it has gone out.
That might be fair to say.
Well then, I suppose there is no need for this. I'll just blow it out, shall I?
Well, no.
No?
It's the theater's light. It's not just for me.
It's important to you.
It's important to other people. It was important to me.
And the fact that it's important to other people means it's worth keeping lit.
I see what you're trying to do. And in a non-hell world, you'd be right. But you can't think like that down here. You can't. It will just kill you. And if it doesn't literally kill you, it will make you want to kill or die.
If you want this light to stay lit, would you say it's something you would defend?
She wants badly to say no, that she wouldn't. And tries to, and sort of just makes a noise.
There it is then. I think that this light should go out. You think it should stay lit. We appear to be at an impasse. But I know a way that we can resolve it. And you feel a familiar weight at your hip. And you look down and you see a simple rapier at your hip. Just the one blade, or would you prefer two?
You know the answer to that.
Another blade appears, and he throws back his cape, does a backflip off of the stage, and lands in the middle. And as he does, he splits into three. And there are now three of these figures in front of you. Each one of them draws a rapier, points at you, and says, "Have at you!" And my friend, we will have combat. We're not going to roll initiative here because there's just the two of you. And this combat you will find is going to be a bit different.
Right? Should I wield my non-magical rapier?
Yes. As he lands the benches all around this area burst into flames, and in the flames you see a large audience of very invested people who are at the edge of their seats getting ready to watch this combat. You have been challenged. The first blow is yours. What will you do, Persephone?
Do I have anything other than my rapier and dagger? Can I do spells at all?
You can do spells, but you have none of your magic items.
So,
Out of curiosity, what do the people look like in the stands watching this battle?
The Lima, sir.
There's quite a large number of them.
Okay, that's fair.
I imagine they're all just different versions of her sword, but like in like a dress or like in a hat, like they all have the mustache on, and they're just like.
It's just a whole bunch. I like that. It's all him. It's all
just
him.
Waldo's
Yes, this is
different
excellent.
ways.
Entertainment.
Okay.
What will you do, Persephone?
Suddenly, Jesse.
What I'm trying to remember which is the flourish that I can use to strike more than one person. Bardic for deal extra damage. You can also that's push it.
It's been a long time, but we're going to give her some slack.
Take all the time you
do
need.
see your opponents, their blades out, sort of.
But these strange phantoms know to give a lady her time.
Indeed.
Yeah, I guess that's not a thing I
Because-
can do. I swear there used to be.
Don't want to anger the wife.
All right. Well, I'll do attacking the. I'll go up to the middle one failure, and do a slashing flourish
Alrighty.
with my not magical rapier. I can't move myself.
Oh, let us fix that. Why on earth would you not be able to move yourself?
Because it's a dream.
Because
I know. I
it's
thought that was part of. You were like, it's going to be different than other
okay.
things. So I thought, okay, well, I can't move.
It's too late. She's frozen.
All right, let's try.
Very well then, prepare to answer topical, political, and geographical questions.
Right, now try it. Can you move now?
Nope. Can't even select myself, actually.
Why?
Because
Okay.
she can't fight herself, Sean.
Apparently, from my board, there's nothing here that should be stopping you from using it. So I'm going to just move it for you. You tell me where you want to go.
Right here. And
Leap forward and attack failure.
yes. Scorching rapier.
Oh.
Can we get that as a motivational shirt? Leap forward and attack failure.
I like it. Slash failure right in failure's over protruding Adam's apple.
Will be on the wall in the Lawful Stupid break room. Just
Yeah.
So what do you have? What are you up to, Persephone?
I am trying to click rapier, and it won't let me.
Oh,
Is it equipped?
Oh,
well, you
what
just
did
hit
that roll,
twice,
Tess?
so yeah.
That's not. Oh, guys. I'm logged in as Falcon. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Boy, did it roll right.
So,
Dude, shall I exit really quick?
No, it's cool. We'll just make that work here. I'm looking down. I'm seeing a critical hit with a 27. With your
But if
rapier.
I'm being honest, it was that first one, the 17.
I see.
You get 2 attacks.
I do. So that is what I would have done. So I'll take the 14. Does 14 hit? Or excuse me, 17. 17.
17 does hit.
Plus
So
your
Yep. Plus my weapon hits. You can expend one of your bardic inspiration to deal extra damage equal to the number you roll on the dice.
Very nice.
so also if you do slashing
Any
damage.
other creature. So I am gonna hit some extra damage on despair here.
Okay.
So 4 damage to despair.
All right, 4 damage to despair. So how much damage did you do failure?
For 18.
I gotcha.
Well, that's 18 plus your flourish as well, right? Or is the flourish?
Well, but the flourish I put on
was-
despair. So, like, I did my rapier attacks to failure.
Oh no, but I think your slashing flourish allows you to add that to the one you attack, and then also to anyone within range of you.
He has it all right.
Then 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 to failure.
2 to failure. Got it. So with
I know my sword arm.
he darts away and says, and then you see part of his mustache just go fall off. And it's like, oh. And he comes, they all come attacking you. The first one comes with his rapier. It says hits AC 7. Despair comes at you, hits AC 8. And Loneliness comes and hits AC 9. So as each of them come in, you king, 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 king. You defend all 3 of them. Now that's going to be back to your turn.
All right. I just got this spell. Is shield something I could cast with nothing on me?
Yes, shield. You're using your music. You're singing a song of shielding.
Rick'em, rick'em, rack'em, rake. Stick that sword into that rake.
All right. Then I cast shield. Yeah, I have a +5 AC. So
all right, shield
my
is up.
AC is now 21.
That is a reaction, so it is your turn. You could technically do it now, but I would recommend doing it after one of them hits you. So we'll just say
okay.
that. So it is now your turn. Do you wish to attack, use an action or a bonus action?
Great. Yeah, I will attack. That's the wrong one. Failure again.
Alrighty.
2 rapier strikes. One moment.
Coming as Falcon. It's 22 is a hit and it's a 24. Wow. So 16 points of damage.
And then my bonus action with my... Is it a rapier that he gave me or a dagger? For my
2
second
rapiers.
weapon. So I will use bonus action to hit again, an extra 9.
So the 14 does not hit. He manages to parry it, and as he does, he spins you around and brings you into a lock, holding on to a core, and he looks at you, and he sighs and says, the family embarrassment. You had the world at your feet, and you choose acting? The occasional witty quip about how people in power are sometimes corrupt. Truly, you've contributed greatly to society. Your theater stands empty. Your audience has forgotten you, and your friends starve in the streets. Failure suits you, Persephone. Ooh. What do you say to that?
Speaking truth to power, a useless thing. Don't make me laugh. And is it still their turn?
You're in a moment here.
Oh, okay.
Just look him in the eyes and say words, words, words.
So, for a forcefully given retort, I will allow you to make a intelligence saving throw at advantage. Actually, no, charisma. Excuse me, charisma saving throw at advantage.
Yeah.
He is attacking with charisma. You will defend with charisma.
Happy to. Oh, an 11. Yikes.
Roll again.
With advantage.
Oh, with advantage, thank God. 21.
He spins around, and as he does, he brings the sword up and bows and fades. His failure leaves the theater. So that is your turn now. Despair and Loneliness both come and attack you. Hitting AC 20
Does not hit.
does not hit.
Assuming my reaction just went off, so...
Yes, your reaction just went off, so your shield goes up and off of a magical barrier. Loneliness also hits, hitting AC 22.
Hits.
Does that That hits. You take 5 points of piercing as the apparitions have drawn blood. Ha ha! That's going to bring us back to your turn.
Going after despair.
Well, now wait. So, the way shield works, it's the +5 bonus until the start of your next turn. So when her reaction goes off.
But so the first one, the +5 protected against the 20.
Oh, okay.
Protect against the 22 as well?
Yeah, 21 is what I got up to, Ryan, so I'm good.
Oh, okay. Math. That, defeated by that again. All right.
I'm gonna, if you can move me closer to despair, 2 rapier attacks on...
Sorry. You move closer to despair, Persephone.
All right, so a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
Is a 4, and then a 12.
12 does not hit.
But I'm gonna go back in with my bonus action there.
14 does not hit either. Ting, ting, ha, ha, ha. And that will be the end of that turn. It's their turn again. And as you are wielding these weapons, and you look back and you see, along with the fading of failure, the light on the theater, on the stage, begins to glow a little brighter. Persephone, it is Despair's turn. Despair attacks. The AC 24.
Hits.
6 points of piercing. Loneliness comes behind you. They have you pinned together, but he only rolls an 11. I believe is going to be a miss.
Miss, yes.
Alrighty. And that's going to be the end of their turn. Yours is next.
All right. Same thing. I'm gonna try and hit despair thrice.
Go for it.
And you know what? I'm gonna use the same flourish again.
Okay, another flourish is used as you deftly wield your weapon.
1, 2, 3.
So, are these correct?
25 to hit, and 18 to hit.
18 is also a hit.
So that's 16 plus, one moment.
As these blows hit, he whirls again and pulls
Oh,
you into
yeah!
Very nice. Pulls you into a core-to-core and looks at you and says, one moment, please. Every choice you have ever made in your life has resulted in you lying tortured and broken in a prison in hell. Choosing the lesser of two evils is still choosing evil, Persephone. You deserve this fate.
That makes her a little bit more upset, and instead of coming up with anything witty, she simply says, "That can't be, or else what's the point?"
All right. Go ahead and make another charisma saving throw at advantage. 23. You have succeeded, and this apparition backs away, bows, and fades.
So there's an extra 8 damage that was done to loneliness with that flourish.
You got one in the front, one in the back. All right. It is
Only
now
the
Loneliness's turn. Hits AC 18.
Does not hit.
Does
oh,
not
wait.
hit.
I'm sorry. The shield lasts only for 1 round.
One for 1 round, yes.
Then, yes, it does hit.
7 points of piercing. And as this blow hits, you look and you see that the light, the ghost light on the stage, has grown brighter.
Do I feel anything by when I see that, Sean, like beyond what I know Tess knows she should feel?
What would Persephone feel?
I mean, obviously she's defending it, so she has to be emboldened by that in some capacity.
Okay. Here we go. Make an attack.
All right.
If you wish.
I do. All right.
10, 13, 12. These are all misses as you manage to drive him forward a few feet, and then he reverses and drives you backwards, making an attack with his rapier, hitting AC 18.
Hits.
12 points of piercing.
Ooh.
Oof.
This time he manages to create a long, burning scar across your face. Ha! And now it is your turn again.
One moment. Ah, crap. I need a component for that. All right, I'm gonna use that same flourish once more. 1, 2, 3. That's 9 does not hit. 17 and a 16.
The 17 hits, the 16 does not.
All right, let's see if I can get a little bit extra. So 9, 10, 11 whole points of damage.
11 whole points of damage. You manage to drive him back, but he is still in the game as he attacks you back. Hitting AC 18. Ooh, 11 points of piercing.
Woof.
Your turn.
Alright. And this is my final flourish.
Make it count.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
That 20 and that 17
20.
both will hit. So that is another 17 points of damage, correct?
Plus 3, so 20 damage.
Excellent. So, as these blows hit, he spins around. You lose track of him as his cape flies over your face, and then you find yourself in another Kurtikor. It's a great phrase. Thank you for teaching it to me.
Thank Ryan for teaching it to me.
He looks at you deep in your eyes, and he says, "You nearly lost your best friend Rim, but you selfishly kept him from his eternal rest. Now he's alive, and he hates you for what you did. He's no doubt turned the rest of them against you as well. Good that Lulu didn't live to see what's become of you."
There is no world in which it is good that Lulu didn't live.
Make a charisma saving throw with advantage, please. Ooh, 23. And a 26.
Yeah.
Backs away and bows and disappears, and the light glows very, very bright. And 1 moment, please.
I knew there was a flourish where I could damage people near me. Freaking found it.
As this apparition fades, there is a shattering sound. And you look back towards the lamp. And flying there, looking confused, is a familiar face.
Oh. I wasn't ready.
We never got to say goodbye.
Are you really there?
Well, I'm really somewhere. I don't know if I'm really here, though.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I'm so sorry you died. It's my fault.
No, not your fault, Persephone. Not at all.
The last conversation we ever had, you told me that we were doing the wrong thing.
There are not many good choices in hell.
There's no good choices.
That's why you have to fight. And if fighting means making a bad choice so that you can bring back a friend to fight with you, that's a good choice.
It was a good choice?
This place will change you. You have to hold on to your friends.
That's what I thought I was trying to
doing
do.
The wrong thing.
You have no idea what it means to me to hear you say that. I thought that you thought the exact opposite.
It's easier to have a wider perspective from where I am now. And if what I said means that we almost lost you too, then I said the wrong thing.
I think I just heard it wrong.
She flies towards you and she says,
Persephone, it's very important. I remember so much now, all of it. And I understand everything that's happening. And it will be all right. Falkrin can bring me back. She'll know when. You have to stay strong until then.
Okay.
You have to make it right.
I will.
and it begins to fade. Darkness overcomes you. The pain returns. But a burden has been lifted, and you are no longer afflicted by the curse.
Heck yes.
Now, friends, you once again enter the volcano where Bell makes his home.
You're a monster.
You travel along the corridors, leaving the Bloodstone behind, following Islin Mizonre, who is extremely pleased. She brings you to the spiral staircase that leads down into Bell's forge. And once again, you stand before Bell. Those of you who go ahead and continue using those tokens, the fire giants are gone, although they have been replaced by more that are busy at work and ignore you completely. And Bell continues to sit on his floating throne here in the heart of his power as you come towards him. What do you do? What do you say?
Guess step forward and offer a appropriate bow and say, Dreadlord Bell, I have brought you your requested rods.
Snaps a finger, and once again, the shimmering in the air next to you heralds the arrival of a large insect-like devil that appears, holds out its claws.
Jax, would you please withdraw them carefully from the bag?
50 gold. Okay. I open the bag and pull them out gently.
You get it later.
Why are you still naked?
It's very hot and uncomfortable in here.
I mean, honestly, it's better in some ways. So
you all hear a voice in your heads.
Very nice.
well, thank you. I've been working out.
Excellent. With these, you have purchased my aid in your upcoming endeavor. There is one small detail that I would like you to consider. This creature, this Archon the Cruel, the item he possesses, I want it. How may I purchase it from you, should you be successful?
Jim will step forward and just say, I think it is important to focus on one task at a time.
Hey, wise precaution. But given the nature of this thing, I think it is best to discuss it now. The hand, the artifact. I want it. When he lies dead, you will bring it to me, and I will reward you.
Has Rim communicated to us his quest?
He has. It
Yes.
needs to be destroyed.
Oh. When would... Oh.
I thought it was Archon needs to be destroyed.
And the art. No, the quest made by Bahamut to Rim was that the artifact needs to be destroyed.
Name your price.
It would be foolish to name a price for an item we do not have yet, and we don't even know if we will be successful in retrieving it.
More wisdom in a different circumstance. This item of power. There is much you could do with it. I want it for myself. Are you sure there's no price I could offer you?
Once we have the artifact in hand, we will let the bidding for it begin.
I'm not a patient being. Perhaps I can better illustrate the circumstances. And there's a ching 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 as being lowered from the ceiling. Their hands clasped with manacles and chains attached, going high into the air. Out of view, you see the tattered and ragged forms of Persephone on one side of this large machine, and on the other, Smiler, who looks barely alive.
Rim instinctually steps towards her.
Now, shall we resume our conversation about price?
Rim steels himself and looks at Bell and says, "Let us do what we need to do first. I believe you already know what my answer will be."
They are not hardy things, these baubles.
For such...
Cannot guarantee that they will last.
Well, for such a powerful artifact, surely you wish to have us at full strength. And such a powerful being as yourself would be able to make assurances that these individuals wouldn't be lost to you should you loan them to us for the procurement of the artifact. O mighty Bell.
So, a delaying tactic from all of you. No one willing to make the deal.
Ooh.
Very well. You may have one of them. But just because they walk with you does not mean that I do not still own them.
Of course.
choose?
Persephone.
Persephone.
No hesitation.
I pick Smiler.
He raises a finger, and the chains that bind Persephone bring her over to you and deposit her gently in your midst.
God, I was hoping you wouldn't.
And burned, and she has a large black eye. But she is alive.
Rim immediately uses all his lay on hands on her.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it'll be the fastest heals any party member has ever gotten. I thought for a hot second, Sean, you're going to be like, excellent, you can have Smiler. It's like,
Samira, you look over at Smiler, who looks at you and raises his head just barely and smirks. Say it.
You're sure?
Say it.
Gadrifade.
As the chain drops him into the lava. And he is instantly incinerated.
Just gonna offer to buy him.
A example of what might await. Should you not wish to reopen negotiations later, make your plan. Inform this one.
He points at Eastland, who's standing on the metal staircase.
And I will aid you.
What has become of the Golden Doom that he once piloted?
I love Typhoon. Oh, it's a shame. So his ride, though, is that still here, or
is that of value to you?
I think having some clones for Falcon is more valuable. I'll shut up now.
It is of value. It is something that would enhance our chances of success in this plan and any plan.
The fact that you now can count me as an asset is all of the advantage you need. But if you wish to purchase it, you know my price. I could offer it to you in exchange for what I want.
I don't know his price.
He wants the hand of Vecna.
Right.
Which I'm like,
he will give you the Golden Doom in exchange for it, and he will also give you Persephone, who apparently will suffer the similar fate to Smiler if Bell does not get what he wants.
Bahamut is patient, right?
Rim, as you see Rim, if Rim could pale, his silver would be like light gray.
But make your plans. Take your refreshment. Be gone in 12 hours.
I would not presume to ask more of you to add to the cost or to the deal. But I simply ask, is there a place here where we may purchase armaments and outfitting for the journey?
He points at the forge around you, and then coming down the steps, you see one of these horned devils.
I can take you to the armory, if that is what you wish. Very well.
And he begins to climb the steps.
I turn back to Belle and I say, what about my things?
Indeed. They will be brought to you. But they are no longer your things.
I'll take good care of them.
You leave and return to a similar room to where you were before, along with Islin Mizonre, and Amanazro joins you as well. On the way, you pass by a vast cavern filled with every armament and armor you've ever heard of. All of it cast in a smoky black metal with striations of red moving through them. The horned devil looks at you and...
The armory. Oh, I might get some plate metal for a goblin.
Why do I have the image of Jax just putting plates on himself? And
Just dining plates?
I mean,
Yes,
that's what I
here is an
envisioned.
opportunity to put yourselves in whatever armor you wish.
and clothes?
You
And
wish.
clothes? Is that what you're saying?
Clothes can be provided.
I say,
Mhm.
I take a +3 studded.
Non-magical, I should point out.
You said what I wish.
Rim is looking at Persephone. He's not paying any attention to the armor, and he's very nervous. He's very cautious, but he
Barely
looks at her.
standing.
Are you?
Sorry, Sean. Wait, before you say that, Samus, what did you just say, Sean?
I said you're barely standing.
Okay, thank you.
He's doing his best to prop you up, and he looks at you, and he's like, "Are you okay?"
She can come back.
She.
Ah, there's the bard.
Are you nice,
Long
Persephone?
last.
And he
And she-
immediately wraps you up in a hug and just starts crying into your shoulder.
And she does too.
What are they doing, Typhon?
Remembering who they are.
I'm sorry I left.
Well, how
they
did they
need to be.
forget?
Welcome back, Persephone.
DM, I look very carefully at her,
Make a
using
perception or
divine
wisdom.
sense.
Divine sense. All right.
Haha.
Of course, divine sense is activated, and once again, you are nearly
collapses.
overwhelmed by in the heart of hell.
But I'm
as-
already looking at Rim, who I know is a small beacon of light.
So you do not detect celestial, fiend, or undead coming from Persephone.
It's a good start.
She looks at Falcron and says, she said you'd know when to do it.
Who said who know when?
Lulu. She said that you can bring her back.
You saw Lulu?
I did. I think I did.
What did she say exactly, Persephone? What did she say to you?
She said that she could come back and that you would know when to do it.
All right. Well, that is the best news I have heard in a very long time.
You're telling me.
You seem better.
When you say that, she looks very ashamed and says, yes.
You look like shit.
I feel like shit,
Ah,
but
Well,
in a normal way.
yeah, we've all been through hell, so it's fine.
Now I feel worse.
Yeah.
Zelmir, I'm not
I'm
sure
sure
if
that
you've actually met Persephone's Steel Hollow.
I'm
Here she
getting the feeling that I
is.
haven't.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm
Go ahead and
very
describe
sorry.
yourself to each other.
Well, I'm naked, so
You've both had quasi-identity crises in the last few days, so bond over that and protect each other.
True.
Don't do it again.
Don't go off your meds again.
No, and
would you like to borrow needle again?
If you would trust me with
never
that.
good to share needle.
Wow.
Good one.
this message brought to you by the crew at Lawful.
She
Never share needles.
You are just let me know if there's anything that anybody wants that they don't currently have already.
So Sean, looking at this armor, does it radiate with evil at all, or is it literally just metal with crap? Which is the technical term.
Do you use a spell or ability?
Can I divine sense to see if it's
Yes.
if it's evil?
It is definitely been touched by fiendish power. What that entails, you don't know. This is the armor. You've seen a lot of it on the creatures you've already been fighting. And whenever you've seen armored beings, armored devils attacking you, you recognize much of the armor and indeed some of the weapons they've been using.
Do I feel anything when I touch it?
Dirty.
I feel like, what kind of dirty, Sean? Is the armor like? What does that mean?
We're talking like Christina Aguilera, or like we're talking
Ex-Tina. During her
touch it.
ex-Tina
You
phase.
want to feel dirty.
It makes your scales crawl. There's something about it.
Rim
You're
will
not
not
an
take
expert
any
on
armor.
you're not an expert on smithing, but you have a feeling that whatever process is used to create this effect, this infernal iron, it is not one that Bahamut would approve of.
I will not take any armor.
You hear the screams and the moans and the cries of pain echoing throughout all the chambers.
Nothing then. Fine.
And you are led back to your quarters where you were before, and you see again Eastland and Amonazro. And Amonazro raises an eyebrow. Persephone, I am surprised to see you.
Me too, a little bit.
I'm not sure where you have been or what you have undergone, but apparently our connection has been severed. I will miss knowing where you are and hearing you whenever you call me, unless you wish to make another arrangement.
I think I need to move on from what I had been doing.
I understand. Friends, the hour draws near. I know that Archon the Cruel is currently visiting Shrine to Tiamat, supposedly close to where she actually resides here on Avernus. I do not recommend attacking him there. However, he traveled there in his infernal machine along with some of his retainers. Attacking him on his return trip to his tower might be a good plan. Unless someone has a better idea.
Do we have time to rest before then?
Yes.
If he will be isolated, then perhaps yes. What do you anticipate will be Belle's portion in this?
He looks over it to Iselin and she says, I honestly don't know. He is extremely powerful, of course, and has many resources at his disposal. But sending his army against Archon's forces in his tower, that does not seem likely.
Would it be possible that we could get the Golden Doom fitted with some troops? That way we have at least 2 vehicles to sort of attack Archon's convoy.
Well, you may do what you wish. I anticipate that he will wish to do his own thing, as it were. Somehow he will prevent Archon from leaving the field of battle. I think this is his main contribution.
See.
So Archon is currently in possession of the hand.
Aman-Azra says, yes. Hand of an ancient evil being known as Vecna.
What? Rim, I'm so sorry. I was not aware. This seemed to hold some personal stake.
Bahamut himself has asked me to destroy it.
To destroy the hand of Vecna. DM, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we know what the hell? I mean, is Vecna a big enough big bad that people in the world know who he is?
No.
Or okay,
Not at all.
Okay. So,
Hand of Vecna means nothing to you other than the fact that it is an object of power.
good, because it makes Ryan shit his pants, but that's fair.
Fair, yeah.
Is that a checkable thing, or is that
It
just
is a checkable thing, indeed. I will allow a history check. I will also allow an arcana check, or I will allow a religion check.
Religion check sounds fantastic.
You want to talk about religion with me, Falkrin?
I would
Compare our
love to discuss religion with you, Typhon. We always have such insightful discussions on that.
Usually a little disdainful about some of the things, but
I would say
what
flippant.
can you do?
You're a little flippant, that's all. And it's mostly the salient S's that kind of get me.
It's the, my people, when they chant, you know chants, right? They're beautiful. You see that when the people I come from chant, we all just sit around in a pyramid and go,
But Typhon, I just chant with you, okay? I just chant.
21.
21. Vecna, a mage who became extremely powerful, attained lichdom, and then grew so powerful that they, for a time, bore the mantle of godhood in other planes of existence. Slain by a hero, a dark hero, a beast whom Vecna had betrayed. This creature's name was Kaz. He cut off Vecna's hand and also slashed out his eye. These two items had become so infused with the power that Vecna had amassed that they became permanently changed and joined the celestial firmament as objects of unimaginable power. Supposedly, if the two are joined with a single being, Vecna can be resurrected in that being. The hand itself has many, many powers, not the least of which is the ability to cause death with a single snap.
Neat.
That is what you get. with
Can't
the
hate a
21.
guy for living the dream. I mean,
it's
just
hashtag Typhon goals.
Well played, Peter.
Snakes for that. All right.
You do also, I would say, with the 21, realize that there is a cost.
Yeah, we know how capital.
Remove your own hand and replace it with the hand of Vecna. It slowly causes you to rot. The only way you can stave this is by consuming the life force of innocence.
Whoa.
How long?
means
That means Archon is dying.
With that,
I remember him saying
swimming
he
in
was-
blood.
Yeah.
But like, how many innocents are there floating around hell?
They're a hot commodity.
Speaking of innocence,
Here he goes.
Good smart.
Silas moves closer to Islin.
uh-oh.
He coming for you, girl.
I also look meaningfully at Rim as I do so. Islin returned from hell. Unlike Persephone, I don't think your intentions are pure. Not towards us, not towards him. Looking at Typhon. Why are you here now?
I am here at the behest of my master.
Which one?
Silas, you are the clever one.
An excellent diversion. Won't you answer the question?
Will this suffice? And her features melt and reform that of Elmira. Not Elmira, excuse me, Elila.
Ah.
Elmira. What is this, Tiny Toons?
I was going to say that's a town in New York.
It is.
Tiny dude.
She serves the town. She's the town servant.
Well, this is awkward. I suppose I should go. Hand of Vecna. How interesting. She begins to back away, and the door opens behind her. She steps through, closes.
Okay, so was that not Eastland the whole time? Was Eastland the... I'm just trying to keep... There are so many, like, smoky-eyed ladies running around hell. I can't keep them all straight. So...
I don't know what to think of it all either.
Oh, that's right, because you...
When
just
she
all- it's
changed and spoke, DM, was she speaking with Islin's voice?
Just now, no, she was speaking with her voice.
And
Elila's voice.
Apparently, Elila in the form of Islin. When she took over from her, you do not know.
We're all kind of cautiously and awkwardly side-eyeing Typhon to gauge his reaction to this.
Most definitely. Like,
And I just, this was never anything that was realized in any of the conversation or anything.
No, you
hours?
definitely you are pretty confident that the night you spent in Eastland's quarters was with Eastland.
You see, Typhon, you sleep with evil. I defeat evil. You see how this works.
So it was just right away that she heard this. Also, there's a spy in Belle's fortress.
Who's to say it's not a welcome spy?
All right.
Depends on what you want to do with this information.
I would tell Belle immediately.
All right. What
If
do
we
you
could
do?
just take a second.
What would Typhon do?
we just take a
actually
second
inform-
and like draw a chart out so we know that Yeastland works for Bell, and then Elandria was.
Elila.
So DM, could you give a quick primer on Elila?
Yes, Elila is a very high-ranking servant of Glaziel.
That's the one.
Sixth, who has had dealings with the group, most specifically Silas.
Wait, so Glazia is the archdevil of the 6th level?
Yes, is
All right.
the leader, is the ruler of the 6th layer of hell.
Man, we are just
So-
getting into
Elila once
Elila
appeared
goes
to
way back
Silas.
to like one of the very first
when
one of the
Falkren
single-digit
fell.
games.
Yeah.
She can't have been in her place for more than moments. This hasn't been her the whole time. If I'm sure of anything, I am sure of that.
And then
We
where
shouldn't-
is Islin?
I do not know, Silas. We should inform Belle of this immediately. And I turn to walk down towards his audience chamber.
I would.
There are guards that stop you.
I was
There's been
just
a possible Sorry, Falcon.
No. Please, Typhon.
There's been a possible intrusion, I believe, into Belle's fortress. We wish to inform the Dreadlord of this.
Back to your chambers.
Who are you to make this decision?
I am
We have
the
been
one in
contracted by
charge
the
of this
Dreadlord
hall.
himself. He would be most displeased if his own machinations were disturbed.
Make a intimidation check, Silas. Silas, Typhon, as you attempt to make this horned devil back down.
Can I stand behind him and look scary?
Yeah, can Omega back him up?
Just to clarify here.
I'm not a charismatic
Typhon
character.
left the room. I did not hear anybody else leaving with him.
Oh, you have to leave the room for this. I see.
Yes.
Well,
as far
so
as I'm
I-
concerned, Typhon is by himself.
I
Gotcha,
doubt
gotcha.
we would have let him go by himself.
Oh, I had walked because I had walked with him and
Okay, so
was in negative.
Typhon and Falkren leave the room. Falkren, you have been given clothes.
I was going to say, I swear to God, if
So,
I don't get a pair of clothes.
Who are trying to intimidate the guard into allowing you a little more freedom.
I'm just speaking the truth here. Oops, I didn't mean to roll with advantage. I'm also not a charismatic character. I just make sense. So
Persuasion.
Your warning has been delivered. Back to your chambers.
is that all? That's the only information you need? You don't think he'll want to know the details? Or the details I know?
Wants to know the details, he will have them.
I don't know how you ascended to this rank.
By following orders. Get back to your chamber or die where you stand.
I turn around and speak loudly. Whatever other creature in this place can hear me, know that your Lord Bell is potentially missing valuable information about an intruder, a spy from the 6th.
These clothes.
Would you like to know more? Take more initiative than the fool that just turned me around.
Interesting tactic. Very well. Do you return to your chambers?
Reluctantly, yes.
All right. After a few tense moments, there is a knock on the door, and a shadowy form, completely clothed in gossamer-like diaphanous material, comes in. You cannot see their features at all. They look like a clothed shadow. Comes in with a small tray of food and a bottle, several glasses, and also a pile of belongings, which look familiar to you, Persephone.
My stuff.
As you strap on the sword.
I was just gonna say.
I give you needle back.
Ah. This feels more appropriate.
It's some tough love.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course.
So, here in this chamber, you have a daunting task ahead of you. Presumably, if the real Islin Nazonre ever makes herself known to you, you will have information regarding where you can find Archon the Cruel. Amonazro is able to provide information with Archon the Cruel, and Islin is going to, hopefully, if she is around, convey your wishes and your mission and your plan to Bell. However, I think that we're going to end our session here tonight, as the plan for this and the machinations, I don't want to have a week in between. I feel like that would
Doesn't want us to think about it.
No, I do. I want you to think about it, but I don't want you to make a plan and then have a week to forget the plan. I think.
What?
Are we going back
happens.
to the chambers now? Are we going? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah,
Are
so
we
Typhon said you
preparing for a
reluctantly
long
went
rest?
back to the chambers. Yes, and a long rest indeed. The food is.
Did
not-
I was
Zelmyra?
just wondering if there would be any time for roleplay or anything like that.
At the beginning.
Could be if there is stuff that. Yes, that's a good point. If you would like to have some roleplay now, that is definitely possible. So, we will leave the issue of just what you're planning to do about Archon for now, as everyone is tired from your journey, your mission to recover the rods, and also to welcome your friend Persephone back. Please, does anybody have anything they wish to do or say?
Yup and
Rim.
up.
Oh, sorry.
Nub?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
You first, Silas.
Yup and up. It's a song. It's a wonderful song of celebration. Go ahead, Samus.
Yep.
Okay. Rim will
Yep,
go
no.
to Falkrin.
Ichab. No. All right. Chicken. We don't put Jokara.
Okay, you let me know when it's my turn.
All
you
right, go
weirdo.
ahead. It's your turn now, Sam. Get the show off there for a second.
How very dare you? No, Rim goes to Falkrin and looks at her solemnly and says, "You managed to pray here yesterday. Did it work?"
Prayer always works, even if you don't think it does.
Would you guide me, please?
I would pray with you.
Rim is going to sink to his knees, and he's going to try to connect with Bahamut.
All right, make a religion check.
I will aid Rim in his endeavor.
All right, roll a religion check with your D4.
And
Or is this at a
I thought advantage, or
I'm. Oh,
so
go ahead.
a religion check if you were like discussing the theory and dogma of religion, I would allow you to give advantage on that. But this is a prayer. This is not something that you can aid him with in this way. I will allow you to give him guidance.
Okay.
I can't let you have advantage.
Then I will use my inspiration on this roll.
And I will still give you the guidance.
I'll take it.
How about
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
And just to be a pain in the butt, since this is probably going to be my last roll of the day, I'm going to use my D6 inspiration on top of it. Hey, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. 26.
I'm not mad.
All right. This role represents your almost preternatural ability to instantly find a space of peace and quiet within yourself. The sounds of the screams that you can still hear and almost feel to a certain degree that surround this chamber and this area that you are, they fade, and you find quiet stillness and contemplation. However, there's no spell attached to this religion check, to this prayer. You may make your prayer, and Bahamut will probably hear it. But he has no guidance for you other than that which you received when your soul was in Bitopia.
He will speak to him and say, "My lord, I am in agony. I know I must do as you ask, but I can also not sacrifice the one person in my world that remains to me as family. Please, help me." And that's knowing that he won't get an answer. That's all that he offers.
The act of prayer, the stillness, the oblivion that you are able to find is very refreshing. But other than that, there is no effect. So that is Rim. Does anybody else have anything they wish to do or say? Here,
I have
Chambers of Battle.
So, I have the ability to do divine intervention, but and I wish to use it inside. I do, and I wish to use it in such a way as to make sure that Persephone's fate is not that of Smiler's. So I don't know if there's phrasing of that being.
That is all you need to say. Roll it. You want to roll lower? You want to roll a 10 or lower, I believe.
10 or lower. Okay.
You have an advantage to use, don't you?
Do you have inspiration?
Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Oh.
Here's how it works, friends. So yeah, for divine intervention as an action, I can
100.
request. Yeah, I can request my deity's aid. If I roll lower, 10 or lower, my deity intervenes. If it's successful, I can't use it again for 7 days, but I can use it after a long rest. At the 20th level, it succeeds automatically. So, all right.
Well, we just made it to 20, right?
You want to make
after the train heist,
You're
right?
asking Ilmater to intervene so that Bel does not have control over Persephone's fate.
Yes.
So that would make the guy whose house we're staying in really, really mad.
Would he know right away? Or just
Would the DM do that to us? Oh.
wouldn't that be like? Wouldn't it intervene if and when it was going to happen?
Ooh.
She moves in mysterious ways.
I feel like it would kind of be,
Maybe do it
as subtle
in
as
a little
Fulcrum.
bit.
So
Yeah. No. Knowing that he is.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
What would Falkren do? Legit. Tell me what she would do here.
Legit, she would ask for guidance from her god as to how she could help her friend.
This is an option available to you. It's a strange sensation. It's a connection. Ever since you've had your connection with Ilmater the last time you prayed, there's been a presence, there's been a more visceral connection, almost as if you are somehow tethered. Even here, you feel it. You feel like you would have to do something truly horrible for it to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And it is there to call upon if you are able to muster the strength.
I'm going to go ahead and commune with Ilmater.
All right, so that's going to be some incense and stuff. If you look at the requirements for commune.
Yeah. Typhon, do you have any... does anyone have a flask of some water? Or...
Are you thirsty?
Oh, 7 hells. 9 hells.
Actually, the 7 hells are from a completely different story. Here in D&D, there are 9 hells.
Well, 9
He doesn't
hells.
recognize 2 of them. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's canceled 2 of them already.
I'm a
doesn't
I'm a
count.
fan of dis, so I just
I'm a 2 hell denier, so there's that. All right, so
your staff can provide a great deal of the physical components to this, but I'm going to need something.
Yeah.
Considering that everything you own just
yeah. Considering
turned
I'm
to ash.
what the hell am I wearing right now anyway? But
it's similar clothing to the whatever it was that brought in the food and drink and the and Persephone's. It's just this black silken material that is very light and comfortable.
I hate it. All right. Okay, incense. Jax.
Falkrin, what is it you need?
I need some incense. I'm everything burned up. Everything burned up.
What is it? Do you need something just divine? What is it?
No, I'm just...
Is it actually a one? Do they need the cost? Is it one that costs? So you
Nope.
need
No, there's no
specific
cost.
things?
It's just
Use
incense
your-
and a...
Use your
vial
staff
of-
then.
Well,
I'm just trying to give it a little flavor.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
so let me get this straight. None of you have any sort of incense at all?
No.
No.
Why would we?
That's a fair point. Well made.
If you need a sacrifice for something,
Jeez.
Wow.
I could go look for some.
don't mean a person, Falkrin.
Every time you say the words like sacrifice or like atonement or, it's just, it comes across kind of heavy. I'm just saying. All right.
So here's a question. I have a handful of sprigs of stuff
Perfect.
for
Just
my...
Stop talking. Give.
Okay, he gives him one of his spell components for Goodberry to be
Excellent.
ground up and...
Yeah, and she immediately starts using the bottom part of her staff to sort of grind it mortar and pestle style. And she sits there and does little thaumaturgy.
It lights up and sparkles and crackles a little bit. Not what you're used to, but as you hold on to your staff, you feel the immense power that it bestows, and it's enough. Commune. The room fades away, and you see a dark chamber in front of you and the silhouette of a man clearly in pain.
Blessings upon you, broken one.
That's usually my line.
I suffer as you suffer, and therefore we are one.
You are troubled, Falcon.
I am in hell, Lord. But I do have questions, if you would grant me some small piece of your mind.
Ask your questions.
I was told I could return a friend to life. I wish to know if that is true. I speak of the Holophant Lulu.
The creature of which you speak is not dead. She gambles and plays in Bitopia, even as we speak. Therefore, you cannot return her to life.
I see. Well, that is good to know. One of our party, Persephone, is held under the sway of the Archdevil, Bel. I wish to know if it is in my power to free her from him.
He holds no sway over her other than his own ambition and will. She has made no arrangement.
Good.
If he feels that she should die, he will come for her. To protect her, you need do nothing more than what you would normally do.
And finally, we have been tasked with seeking out the hand of Vecna. It is on the creature Archon.
A creature in enormous pain. I pity him.
That is kindness, my lord. I am grateful to you. We cannot destroy the hand, I fear. But I cannot let Persephone be taken by Bel.
No, you cannot.
Then I know.
Wondering what Bel would do with the hand might be a worthy line of thought.
I see nothing but suffering.
Bel is crafty, cruel, but he no doubt has a plan.
He seeks to regain the throne of Avernus.
I mean, probably.
Thank you. Blessed Mater.
He sits back and the silhouette fades and the darkness recedes and you find yourself once again back in the chambers.
No, I just feel like I've been...
Yikes! Sorry, wrong music.
Was it Yakety?
The battle music kicks in.
You find yourself back in the chamber. Roll initiative! All right. All right.
So.
Oh. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am tired.
Persephone
Zelmira.
goes
Oh, go
to
ahead,
Persephone goes to Zelmira and very abashedly says, "May I please see your broken jewel and its pieces?"
Um. Uh. Yes. Yes. And Zelmira reaches into the little pouch that she has around her waist and pulls out the emerald stone and passes it over to Persephone with the few pieces that have not yet been reintroduced into the original structure.
I'll give it back in the morning. I should have done this the first time.
It's okay, you weren't yourself. I see that now.
Stephanie, as you are redressing, putting your armor on and your weapons and such, there is one item, a small, dark metal coin.
It's the soul coin.
Ooh, give it to Typhon.
What?
Typhon, I don't think I should carry that anymore. And she points to the coin.
He holds out his hand and kind of smiles and meets your gaze and nods.
Thanks.
So, Falkren has prayed and has had commune. Zelmira, is there anything you wish to do before resting?
Zelmira is somewhat disturbed by the death of Smiler. And so she has, when Persephone found her, she had kind of withdrawn and was just, again, as she often is, reflecting on the things that have happened and the people and I guess allies at one point or another that she's lost, and her relationship with Smiler was a complicated one, and so her feelings right now are complicated.
Silas, anything you wish to do? No? Rim, you prayed, anything else?
No, he's going to specifically put himself near Persephone and just be conflicted.
All right. Typhon?
No one responds to my being, uproarious about a spy in the castle, I guess. So I will,
in a moment,
be disappointed, but
Jax.
yeah.
Jax sits in a corner, his hands in his lap, his knees up. Just when anyone looks at him, he just smiles and keeps himself to himself. Looks very mysterious, probably more than usual. Yeah.
Right. With that, everyone happy to have Persephone back, and a little trepidatious over the task that is before you, and at least one of you curious as to what has become of Island Mizonre. We will say goodnight.